Okay, thank you. So, today,
तालियां बजाओ, पहले तालियां बजा लो.
हाँ तालियां बजाओ भाई.
Yeah. Guri has also come, so now there's no reason to delay.
So it's very
मैं
strange
तो
coincidence.
काफी देर से बैठा हूँ.
Wow. Welcome, Guri. So,
Good evening.
very strange thing happened to me on 7th of April that one of my friend from Pune called me and said, "Do you know that today Ravi Shankar ji is 100 years old?" So I woke up and then started looking into, oh, really, it is so. And that's why I picked up this, and with all the RMIMers began to chat, and everybody agreed, and everybody is now here. So let's begin. Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, 1920 to 2012. In Bengali, Robindra Shankar Chaudhary, that is the name. And April 1920 is his birthday. 11 December 2012, he passed away. So you can see almost 92 years of life, full of music and sitar. And we all know so much to see, so much to talk about, so much to share. I don't know what to do. And most of us are interested in film music that we are going to take up after this short presentation.
Suresh, a quick question. Wasn't his last name Banerjee?
No, Chaudhary, as I see from Wikipedia, because as I told you in last two presentations also, that my main thing is Wikipedia, so you can correct me if it is wrong. As per Wikipedia, his name is Robindra Shankar Chaudhary. Okay.
Yeah, but I think Chaudhary is probably more of a title. But I think
possible, but okay. Yeah, but there is nothing more information than this. So in this 90 years, let us say about 60 years of working life, में ट्रेनिंग भी है, देन यहाँ से यूएस जाके सितार एम्बेसडर बन के जो उन्होंने बहुत अद्भुत काम किया, वो भी शामिल है, निजी जिंदगी भी है. देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स which we can talk about and look at from different angles. But what again Wikipedia tells me, Wikipedia writes only few lines. What it says, internationally renowned sitar maestro died on Wednesday at the San Diego hospital after complaining of breathing problems. His influence on Western artists and their music was most evident when he collaborated with former Beatle George Harrison in the 1960s and 70s. Shankar is the father of acclaimed musicians Anushka Shankar and Norah Jones. So this is what English Wikipedia tells us. And I found on the internet that बहुत एक पुराना फारसी में शेर है. वो शेर ये बोलता है कि खुश्क तारो, खुश्क चोबो, खुश्क पोस्त. खुश्क तारो, खुश्क चोबो, खुश्क पोस्त. अशकुआनी आइदई आवाज़ दोस्त. Ashkwani, Aidei, Awaj dost. I don't know, my Farsi pronunciation is not correct, but what it means that otherwise very dry looking middle that gourd and lakdi, wood. All these three things make a wonderful instrument, a box-like instrument, and actually who is putting the musical notes inside? My friend, tell me who is putting the musical prints inside this box? And not only Ravi Shankar ji, many sitarists, centuries, they have put so many musical beautiful notes. Today, in today's timeline, Ravi Shankar ji, of course, excels all of them. And what I'm going to talk about and share with you is, there are many books on Ravi Shankar ji, but this is a book which I like the most. It's called Ravi Shankar, an autobiography, Ragamala, edited and introduced by George Harrison. Have you, has anybody read or seen of this book?
I have it.
Very good. It's a very good read book. Those who don't have, I will recommend that you should read it because it gives a complete and honest, of course, from his point of honesty, it gives a complete account of his musical journey, his personal life, and all the things which you want to know about this great legend. They're all there. So what I did actually, and I have sent all of us a PDF file in which I made a small English article, Yogi, a sitar player and a city of Bombay. So this piece I wrote when he died in 2012. It gives many things. It's a long article, but in that I just want to read one paragraph for today's presentation. That around 1947 to 50, he was in Bombay and in very much distressed condition, both financially, both emotionally, family problems, and many things. And his friends like Botuk Diwanji, Ullah, and Suburban Music Circle, they helped him in getting concert for him. So in that, a very interesting incident happened, which is described in this book, and I'm going to read it out for you. Is my sound okay for everybody?
Yes, but
Okay.
some mics are open.
I don't know because.
I'll mute them.
Okay. Yeah, now is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, so now I will read out one paragraph for you. Ravi was undergoing through a deep crisis materially, emotionally, and spiritually. And that led him to plan for a suicidal attempt. He carefully formulated and decided to throw himself under a running train, fixing the date and even going to the extent of preparing final letters to the family members and the police. But before the chosen day, he underwent an extraordinary encounter with a man who was to turn his life around. Passing by his Borivali house one afternoon in 1948, his spiritual guru and a yogi named Tat Baba, named for his rope made from tat or a sackcloth, Gonika. He stopped and asked if he could use his bathroom. Entranced by the appearance and the aura surrounding this strange visitor, Ravi not only allowed him to use bathroom, but he agreed to play sitar to him, forgetting completely that he had agreed to perform in front of the Prince of Jodhpur that evening for a very generous hefty fee. Yet somehow that yogi knew of both Ravi's missed concert and his plans for suicide. After the recital, he told him, "The money you missed tonight will come back to you many more times over. Don't do anything foolish." And then there was no looking back. At the end of 1948, he was appointed as the director of music at All India Radio Delhi, composed music for Satyajit Ray's Apu trilogy films before leaving for West. The rest, as might be said, is all history, with several dozens of recordings from 70 RPM era to CD era films and other cultural performances. So you can read the full article which I have already posted on our group. But this is what I wanted to share, that this was a turning point in his life, and then he entered into another world, and that's good for music. And this is what I played, the Yogi sitar player and the city of Bombay. So whenever he used to come down from US in 1970-75, people were criticizing what kind of man you are, and you are playing for a West, you are playing fusion, and you are forgetting our original music. And he had tough time to convince people because he was trying and playing on both the sides to become ambassador as a sitar player in the West, as well as his roots were all here. So in one such incident, and film division made a documentary film on it. Maybe some of you have seen. Has anyone seen this film?
Yes, it was shown on TV a couple of times.
Yeah. So now there are actually two versions of this film. One is 16 minutes and other is 26 minutes. And now, fortunately, both of them are on YouTube. So it actually has, it's made by Pramod Patti, documentary filmmaker called Pramod Patti actually. And it has, in the longer version, Ravi is coming in the studio, very young Ravi, and he is talking and chatting with many stalwarts in the musical scene of that era. And I am going to play a short clip of that, and you will recognize how young Ram Narayan or Prabhat, there are many you will see. And then he called him for recording one side of a long playing record, which I have yet to identify. And then the film division thing starts, and toward the end, you will see the new NCPA theater where Vaijayanti Mala is gardening him. is welcoming him, and then NCPA, JJ Bhava and all that. So that long video you can see later, but I will just share a very small portion of it from here.
नीचे बड़ा कमोशन हो रहा है।
थोड़ा सा वीडियो क्वालिटी खराब है लेकिन
थिंकिंग है कि कोई राजेंद्र कुमार है तो कोई बड़ा बड़ा कोई स्क्रीन पर्सनैलिटी तो एक लोग ने देखा वो दूसरा कर रखा है भाई समुद्र देखने में आ रहा है कुछ तू आ जाओ गुड शॉट है ना ये है এইসব শুনে নিজের বয়স বড্ড বেশি मैं कहता था भाभी जी को अगर चौराहे पे खड़ा करती तो गाड़ी रुक जाएगी अब एक्टिंग आपको साथ like to say hello to you too. आप लोग को मैं सुनाना चाहता हूँ
ये प्रभात जी है
ऑर्केस्ट्रेशन which is
ये
coming
शायद
up.
अश्विनी बेड़ी की माँ है
I would like you to give a small talk to us now. 1 minute, so that we could ask you something, some sort of question and answer. But not more, not more. Ask you no questions. I want to not okay. भैया सबको बैठाओ. Let them sit down. I think let us start it. Yeah. बूंदी के बोसी विजय बूंदी के बोसे ठीक है हम इनको गोपाल नाम दिया लड्डू भी खाते ही हैं रेस खेलने गए नहीं इतना तक करिए कुछ बात बामन राव जी
राम नारायण जी
इमीडिएट फ्यूचर प्लान बैठे हैं बात कर रहे हैं That's immediate most. You see, we had to record one whole side of an LP, about 21 minutes ka piece. And in the morning, we all assembled a festival of artists, India artists जितने गए थे, वो सब आए. और 10 o'clock was the recording time, no? And while going, up till then we didn't have anything, क्या record करने वाला कुछ पता नहीं था. हम कहे थे कि सब इंस्ट्रूमेंट आ जाना चाहिए स्टूडियो में बहुत बड़ा स्टूडियो एंड 8 ट्रैक मशीन देयर वर 3-4 तंबूराज और बाकी जो आर्टिस्ट हैं उनके साथ एंड जस्ट यू नो वी स्टार्टेड रिकॉर्डिंग विदाउट एनी प्लानिंग मैं सोचा कि थोड़ा ओल्ड स्टाइल का कुछ चीज से करें करते करते वो बनते गया चीज एंड इट स्टार्ट्स विद ऑल सॉर्ट ऑफ स्तोत्रास थोड़ा वैदिक हिम्स है थोड़ा सा उसमें प्रार्थना है जैसा आप सुनेंगे खुद ही This is not a prepared talk, but I'll try to make it very informal and just say anything in relation to my music, my travels, lately I feel a little more confident in our own people, seeing their confidence in me, which has come back, in the sense that because of my being absent for last few years, most of the times abroad, many people took it for granted that, either I've settled down there, or I'm mostly concentrating, performing for the Western people, Western audience, and therefore compromising in my music and things like that. Many people went as far as, thinking that I have been sort of trying to commercialize or westernize my music in my performances, trying to please the, as they say and think, trying to please the American audience and the hippies and the pop music-loving crowd. Well, the only things that I did in the beginning, as I have said again and again in my number of articles, that I gave shorter duration of program. But that was in the beginning, as I say. For a number of years I had to do that to make people more accustomed to our music, our classical music.
Today he takes his place who is the greatest performers of music the world over, with Casals and Rostropovich, with Menuhin Roystrach, with Segovia and Julian Bream, with Richter and Horowitz.
If Narayan Menon of
If any one of these put down his musical instrument today, he would still be a great musician and a great person. And this is really the test. Ravi Shankar's musicianship and greatness are not limited to the handling of the sitar. It goes far beyond that. But it was through the sitar, the discipline of the sitar, that he did realize himself fully.
Hello?
Yes, Suresh.
Good. Sound was good, and video also is okay.
Yeah, it is fine.
Yeah. So this I wanted to share and show, because these were the really transitionary periods for him, and he was getting sort of abused here because of changing and breaking traditions, and he was making his own way. And this entire documentary, if you see on YouTube, you will see the journey further. And very young, energetic Raviji, who did many experiments with Kinnara Group in Bombay near Breach Candy, and then All India Radio. I mean, in fact, the orchestration, and he is the man who has actually composed the Sare Jahan Se Acha tune that we sing. And he himself was puzzled when he came to India and saw the inlay cards of the Deshabhakti Geet, that the credit not given to him, but Sare Jahan Se Acha tune traditional. So he really got upset on that note. So I'm going to.
Sureshji, if I could just interrupt you for a minute, you're talking about that LP they're referring to earlier.
Yes.
That I think that must refer to his Chants of India LP.
Possible, yes, you are right. Because I had another LP in mind, that is the Music Festival of India, but I don't think
No, that came later. That was
Later.
in 1980 something. This was the Chants of India LP is first.
Yes, you are right. So now I come to the another very celebrated LP of Ravi Shankar and Jubin Mehta. Ravi Shankar playing sitar and Jubin Mehta London Philharmonic Orchestra. And this LP was made by EMI again, and beautiful back sleeve. And you can see a very hazy side one is Rag Lalit. And so happened that during 1985 or 90, there was a program on Mumbai Doordarshan where Raviji and Jubin Mehta had a live Doordarshan program. Anybody remembers to have seen that? No. And that was actually full-fledged orchestra of Jubin Mehta and Ravi Shankar ji sitting there, Kumar Bose on tabla. So it so happened that around 2010 or so, one day, I came back from my office and my wife said, "Oh, somebody had dumped a gunny bag full of video tapes." And he said, "If Suresh doesn't want, he can throw them out." So I just looked at them and many of them were catching fungus and gone. But I said, "Okay, let me see." So I spent a lot of money from my pocket and we got some stuff cleaned out of that. And there I found this video. You will see that video is not in great shape, but audio is excellent. And this is a and this is yeah. Yes.
One comment. I just happened to see a small clip of this concert, and actually Pandit Kumar Bose himself posted this clip on his Instagram account. So, like this on 2 days ago, I saw this clip.
Was it a good quality or a hazy quality?
It was a very hazy video quality. मतलब it was out of a video VHS tape ऐसा लग रहा था.
हाँ वही था जो मेरे घर में VHS tape आया था. And for last 10 years I have been passing this to many experts. And just yesterday I passed to Pawan, I passed to many friends in US and that कि देखो भाई मेरे पास ये है, थोड़ा उसका वीडियो तो ठीक करो यार, एडिटिंग करो. So I will share with anyone also. So probably the same clip which I had is passing through many hands and still nobody has put real efforts in making it. In fact, I gave a copy to Prasar Bharati also. They are still sitting on it. They told me that, oh, we have it somewhere. Okay. So what I'm going to do, that I'm going to show that video of Lalit part, about 13 minutes. Bear with me, it's a mind-blowing and mind-blowing. Let us recollect the Hindi film song based on Lalit before we go. So first thing which my mind comes is this Ek Shahanshah ne banwa ke hasi Taj Mahal, right?
Right.
Then anybody remembers any film song, Hindi film song based on Rag Lalit?
तू है मेरा प्रेम देवता, no?
तू है मेरा प्रेम देवता.
जोगिया मेरे घर आओ.
जोगिया मेरे घर, वो क्लासिकल हाँ फिल्म देवी है वो, बट डेट इज अ बंदिश है. लेकिन ये तो गाने तो है और भी आपको सुनते सुनते याद आ जाएंगे. Because those of us who are not inclined to listen classical music seriously, you will see how that raga opens up so much beautiful soundscape in our minds. So I just want to share that video with you. Please enjoy. It's about 12 minutes. कैसे लगा आपको?
Lovely.
वहां पे ज्यादा तालियां पड़ी, यहाँ पे एक भी नहीं सुनाई दी.
We were all, our mics are all on mute. Suresh.
Yeah, so you see, Abhay and Guri, they.
मेरा माइक म्यूट पे था.
Yeah, I'm
मजा आ
watching.
गया सच में, मतलब बहुत खूबसूरत presentation.
और you can imagine my joy and happiness for last 10 years.
Absolutely.
Many times.
Hats off to you.
Yeah, जरा mute करो अभी microphone. For many years, I have been listening to this at any odd hours or early morning, and each time my eyes are full with tears. And I'm more happy today to share with you, and maybe YouTube, to rest of the world. Yeah. And
listening to it also reminded me of a song tuned by Ravi Shankar himself.
Yes.
From Meera, Jago Bansi Wale Lalana.
Correct. That's what I was waiting for somebody to comment upon. Same raga. So देखो एक क्लासिकल रागा कितना बड़ा कैनवास ओपन करता है अपने लिए. It's beautiful. So I hope this was probably the high point of today my presentation, because nobody cares. I even sent one copy to Jubin Mehta through secretary, and nobody even want to look at it old past. They were always in the new project. So चलो अपने ग्रुप में कोई अगर वीडियो को ठीक करे तो हम, and I have sent Pawan also that there is a 45 minutes. There is a ragamala after this. 21 ragas played by this ensemble. So any one of you wants, I can share a copy. Okay, let's move. So now we'll come to the film music part where I will introduce and then we'll take over. So again, this is from Wikipedia, and I don't know what happened to.
A couple of clarifications.
हाँ बोलो.
Abhay earlier mentioned, you guys were talking about the two projects, Friends, Festival of India and Friends.
Yes.
They were both back to back, 73 and 74.
Correct.
Not 80s.
I thought Festival. Oh, sorry, I was confusing it with the Festival of India LP, which was in the 80s.
हाँ वो फ्रंट पे कवर है उनके ऊपर, सब जॉर्ज से सब लोग बैठे हैं.
No. Festival of India LP, that was in the 80s. I thought you were referring to the Festival of India Festival LP earlier. I don't know what the Festival LP is. Sorry.
Yeah, it's music festival from India. That is, Guri says correct. That is a US release.
Here's the quote. In 1973,
Yes.
he recorded Shankar, Family and Friends.
Correct.
No, that is a different one. That I have. That has Lakshmi Shankar's regrettable English bhajan also.
Right. I am missing you. That Shankar Family and Friends was produced by George Harrison. A year later, they decided to make another album, Music Festival from India, and take it on tour.
Okay.
And this is the album you're talking about, Abhay. It was released probably late. In 1988, he presented a performance of this, featuring 150 musicians, both Russian and Indian, at the Kremlin. That became Inside the Kremlin.
Right.
And when he took Music Festival from India on tour, he had become known enough and had enough pull to take with him Shiv Kumar Sharma, L. Subramaniam, Hari Prasad Chaurasia, and other disciples.
Okay. But thanks very much. But the artists whom we saw in the video clip and the chant that was played, memory tells me that chant is from he has an LP called Chants of India.
Possible.
वो तो बहुत बाद की बात है. हाँ.
वो बाद की है.
हाँ, that's 89. That's 89. 89.
Oh, okay.
Achha.
Fine. Thank you for clarifying that. Then was mixed.
Right. So one more clarification. Yes, we heard Zubin's stuff with him, and yes, the whole album is just out of this world. But that was not the first collaboration. Before that, he had done 3 albums, with Yehudi Menuhin, East Meets West. There were 3 volumes of that.
Right.
And then before Zubin, the prized possession that I have and the album that made the largest impact on me was the one with Andre Praveen and London Symphony Orchestra. Zubin's work with him is with New York Philharmonic. Not London Philharmonic.
No, the label of the LP sleeve released in India, that's what I read. It may be here.
नहीं उसमें लिखा हुआ है मेरे पास है एल्बम सामने
नहीं ये इंडिया में रिलीज है उसे देखो ना रविशंकर रुबिन मेहता
द कवर इज सेइंग
माला एंड लंदन फिल्हार्मोनिक
तो हाँ तो भाई इंडिया में तो वो नेकेड लड़की भी दिखाते हैं 1942 की
नहीं ऐसा है कि वो शायद उन्होंने फ्रेश कट किया होगा इधर
ना there is only one work and that is with the New York because Zubin never got London Philharmonic.
ये देखो इधर भी लिखा है नहीं क्या है उन्होंने वो ऑर्केस्ट्रा के लोगों पे यहाँ उठा के लिखा है होगा शायद पता नहीं यहाँ पे लिखा है लंदन फिल्हार्मोनिक ऑर्केस्ट्रा मैं अपनी बात से मन से
नहीं I know but I'll send you the scans.
No, that's okay. So the thing is that these great 3 albums which you mentioned, East, West, East, and this one, and so far we were in audio realm. And the one which you mentioned about Kremlin, I vaguely remember that in 1991, once when we had only one channel of national TV, in one afternoon I saw the entire thing where I saw Ravindra Sathe, Kumar Sharma, all that ensemble playing in Kremlin. That video was shown. But I never got hold of any of that video like I have got this one. I was sort of say lucky because this man left gunny bag with me, with my wife, and he said, "अगर देखना है तो देखना तो फेंक दो." तो उसमें I could retrieve about 100 GB data. And this man who parted with his lifetime collection, probably उसके relatives who survived. I mean, after the old man passed away.
If it was left in a gunny bag, it must have been Tat Baba.
हाँ ताड़ बाबा ही मेरे घर में आए और उसमें आप यकीन नहीं मानेंगे कि भीमसेन जोशी सिंगिंग इन तीन मूर्ति भवन on the first death anniversary of Rajiv Gandhi. So all still there like with me. And that all that 100 GB data I give to Prasar Bharati and I don't know whether they are doing anything. But anyway, we will start sharing slowly through our medium. So let's move.
सारे जहां से अच्छा was composed in 45.
Yeah, correct. And unfortunately,
by the way, his performance in Woodstock, which made him famous, that's also available in YouTube. And
everything is available now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
that was 68.
This is again Wikipedia information where
69, right? Woodstock.
68. I mean 69. You're right. August 69.
Yeah. There's a story, right, that he played the alap there and people started applauding thinking it's over. He says it's just the alap.
Not the alap. That story is about another concert.
If you like the tuning so much, you'll like the performance more.
Yeah, but he compared them to some water buffaloes or something, right? The acid, all the drug, the crowd.
Sushruth bol raha hai kuch.
Yeah, Sushruth here. So now here's I found the clarification on the Wikipedia page. So here's what it says. Okay, while he was the conductor of New York Philharmonic, Mehta commissioned Ravi Shankar's Concerto No. 2 for sitar and orchestra. Following New York performances, the concerto was later recorded with the London Philharmonic Orchestra.
Ah, that's the clarity. Okay.
So the LP was with London, the performances were with New York.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Sushruth.
So now we have to check what is the orchestra which we have seen in the video, whether it is London Philharmonic or the other one. Anyway,
that is
each time we are learning. So should we move forward?
Yeah, there's a little bit more.
Okay.
With the Zubin Mehta story. वो ये है कि after playing with Andre Praveen, he had such a wonderful experience doing that one that he wanted to do more, and he knew Zubin. Approached him. He approached Zubin, and Zubin said, "Okay, karte hain." The Concerto No. 1 he had a hard time because this was a much bigger orchestra and their ways of working were different. And then Zubin said, पहला वाला बन गया, अब इसके बाद रुक जाते हैं, आप ऐसा करो कि बाकी जो मैं काम कर रहा हूं उनके साथ आप आके बैठो, देखो कि हम लोग कैसे काम करते हैं. So he suggested, this is Anushka saying, he suggested that Bapi should go and watch him rehearse with the orchestra so that he could familiarize with himself with the sound limitations and possibilities. This was really helpful. And when he composed Concerto No. 2, he wrote it with particular people in mind. Another interesting one there is, Zubin uncle had requested Bapi to make it a spicy piece. Zubin has Ravi Shankar has always been in love with hot chilies. Bapi says he used to carry little red chilies with him to drop into bland food in the West. So Bapi composed a deadly concerto consisting of over 40 ragas and complicated rhythmic cycles like 6.5 and 13.5. He named it Ragmala. That's how it came about.
I see.
Premiered in New York in 1981.
Brilliant.
So
that's all I have.
Yeah, I also will share something that in one program in, I think, Karnataka Sangha Hall in Matunga, several years ago, there was a concert of probably young Anushka, and somebody's mic is on. Yeah. And in the interval, the organizers, they knew I am a record collector, so they took me and introduced the Anushka's mother. What is her name? I forget now.
Kamala.
Sukanya Shankar.
Oh, Sukanya.
And they said, oh, he is a madcap and he has society and records. So immediately she asked, do you have 78 RPM records of Raviji? I said, yes, I have. So can you give us, because we want to build his archive in Delhi. So I said, yes, casually I just gave her a card. And to my surprise, within a fortnight, when somebody was traveling from US, that fellow came to my house and he had informed me, of course, in advance. And then he completely took the whole set of 78 which I had. And probably now they have it in Delhi archives. I don't know what they are doing with that, but original artifacts they wanted to preserve, and in some very small way. I was of some help.
That's very generous of you.
Well, I am generous, you know, because we are not going to take any of this thing with us. So sharing is caring, right?
One more anecdote.
Yes.
In 1998, at the concert in Delhi where Yehudi was chief guest,
yes,
Yampar Rampal came and performed the flautist. Wow. I was so lucky to be able to play Morning Love with him in Bapi's place, meaning Anushka played. Also, since there was no harpist available, I transposed the harp piece of Enchanted Dawn, the first track, for the piano. I had never played the piano at such a big event before, and during our first rehearsals, I was terrified. But Rampal was so generous and kind, he told me to take a few deep breaths and start when I was ready. At the end of the piece, he smiled and asked if I would like to accompany him at the concert in some Western classical pieces also. The show was just 2 or 3 days away. It was a great experience, not just playing his pieces, but playing them with a maestro. Wow. And I got a far greater insight into the intricacies of the pieces and revelations, etc., etc. And yet, when they played Ravi Shankar's compositions, an inherently Indian spirit was apparent in the music. From the beginning to the end, the pieces were all true to the raga form.
Yeah, wonderful. So, what a nice meeting today, Guri. Everybody is sharing from bottom of heart and enjoying.
Yes, sir.
In fact, I also, just to remember what I've read, that he said that he never did fusion in the sense that he just played Indian ragas. It was just what was around it.
Well, we will come soon. Because I see my watch 20:55. So we will now move to another section for half an hour. And for that, again, I take help of Wikipedia, and it lists 17 films beginning at Nicha Nagar in 1946, directed by Chetan Anand. And they have missed on Wikipedia Dharti Ke Lal, K.A. Abbas. And now Dharti Ke Lal is full film is on YouTube. Then comes the Appu trilogy. 1957, there was a film called Cherry Tale. Does anybody know about this Cherry Tale?
Yes, and actually you can watch it online.
Yes, correct.
And it's a very short 10-minute piece, and it's about a chair.
Yes.
Conrad Rook's movie, 57. Yes. And it's a story about a man's relationship with his wayward chair. वो उसके पीछे भागता रहता है. और वो जाती है, इधर-उधर जाती है.
Yeah. Actually, when I wrote more about this in the... okay, go ahead, Guri.
Directed by Norman McLaren.
Correct.
The film won numerous prizes for its novel technique in effectively making the chair seem almost human.
Oh, yeah. And that's where when I saw many years ago in YouTube, and then I started looking references, and then I said that this director waited for Ravi Shankar because he was busy. He said, "You will only do the background score of this."
Nobody else. ऐसा इनके साथ काफी हुआ है.
हाँ, इनके साथ काफी हुआ. तो ये I will recommend that all of those who haven't seen, it is a Cherry Tale is the name of the film. Because of lack of time, I'm not going to show. Otherwise, it's right here with me.
Okay, but can we go chronologically to the beginning? The first piece that he ever composed was 45, and the production was called India Immortal.
Yes.
In 47, he worked intensively on The Discovery of India, the ballet cum opera based on Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's book.
Correct.
And 46, Dharti Ke Lal and Nicha Nagar.
Correct.
They were unusual. They were box office flops.
Yeah.
And then, he got away from films until he came back to Ray with Pather Panchal.
Yeah. There is one more film here I see, 1958. Parash Pathar or Parash Pathar, how do you say it?
That's also Ray, no? Parash Pathar. That's 58, but 55 was Pather Panchali.
Yeah.
And in the between 55 and 58 is the trilogy.
Trilogy, yes. So Pather Panchali is not listed on Wikipedia, yes. Okay.
Right, and before Paras Pathar was...
Pather Panchali is the first film of the trilogy.
Correct.
Pather Panchali, Apur Sansar and Aparajito.
Aparajito. Yeah. So basically, Pather Panchali released in 55, and within the next few years, the second and third film.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 57 was Cherry Tale, and 58 is Paras Pathar.
What is this about Paras Pathar? I have not seen it.
Yeah, Paras Pathar matlab philosopher's stone.
Oh, yeah. I see.
वो वाला.
So full length feature film ठीक है?
हाँ, full length feature film, very good.
I see.
And great music.
Let's see if it is on YouTube.
And there is another movie immediately after Cherry Tale, and that's called The Flute and the Arrow. It is based on a communal tribe in central India.
I see.
And then there is the Conrad Rook's Chappaqua.
Yeah, okay. क्या है?
And there is
तपन सिन्हास काबुली वाला.
नहीं, वो बाद में आता है.
Bengali.
Yeah, that's 57 also.
Yeah, it is not mentioned in the list. That's why I asked.
Yeah, because Wikipedia, I'm from the very beginning, in all my shows I am doing, I am referring Wikipedia because that is the handle which future generation is going to see. So we'll correct it. So Paras Pathar के बाद 1960 में Anuradha है, much celebrated. We don't have to talk much about it. Then Godan.
Yeah.
Then Godan है 1963 and 1966 is Alice in Wonderland. What is this? Any information about this film?
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland was actually the very first one. 66. It's a television play.
Yeah.
And let me tell you more about it. I have the whole thing. So, Alice in Wonderland. Let me just read a little bit. Alice in Wonderland. अच्छा, ये चेरी टेल के बड़े अच्छे अच्छे फोटोग्राफ्स भी हैं. The चेरी टेल का पहले बता दूं थोड़ा सा. The film begins with a seemingly normal chair on screen. Jutra enters carrying a book and attempts to sit on the chair so he can read the book. The chair unexpectedly moves out from under him. The man's persistence becomes increasingly frenetic and violent to himself. Finally, he realizes that perhaps the chair will let him sit on it if he allows the chair to sit on him first. The gambit succeeds in resulting in the man sitting on the chair at the end. That's the movie. The film took another thing was the film had variable speed of frames per second, whether it was 16, 12, 8, 4, and 1 frame per second also. In order to काफी मतलब, and that's why they got the awards.
Are you all seeing the screen?
The award that he got for the Cherry Tale, 58 British Academy BAFTA, and the National Film Board of Canada, both of them gave him that award. And now coming to Alice in Wonderland.
Guri, may I interrupt a moment?
Yes, sir.
Are you seeing this screen there?
Yeah.
So
it's all black.
No, let me just play this Cherry Tale for a minute. I talked so much, I thought that let me just share. Let me see that works. So it is about 9 minutes. So to give an idea, okay?
So I guess it is Chaturlal on the tabla.
Yeah, looks like.
It seems to be just the two instruments.
right. So, should we continue with our discussion on films?
Whoa, Guri sir, you were saying something about Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Sureshji,
Ah.
I also checked that encyclopedia of this Ashish Rajendraksh. So this Kabuliwala mention is there with credit to Ravi Shankar. So you can add that to the list. The Tapan Sinha's Kabuliwala of 1957.
Okay. I will do that.
It is much better reference document than Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sureshji, I think IMDb and I think these other encyclopedia are better.
But
Wikipedia tends to be incomplete.
Encyclopedia is definitely one of the.
Yeah, but I am thinking
it's generally incomplete.
It's a common man's transport, no?
Yeah. No, in fact, Wikipedia often says that it's a selected list, right? It's not a complete filmography.
So we have a lot to work on that if we want to edit. Okay, so Alice in Wonderland ho gaya, then what is this Chappaqua 1966, directed by Conrad Roof again? Guri?
Is Guri around?
Okay. Then comes the Monterey Pop 1968 documentary by D.A. Pennebaker. Then Charlie, major film, 1968. Then comes Raga. I don't know what is this Raga film, 1971. Then 1972, Concert for Bangladesh. Are you listening to me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Organized by George Harrison with Ravi Shankar. Bangla Command ke baare mein.
This I've seen. This was screened at West End in Pune.
Oh, is that right? I see. Must be around 75 or so.
No, I saw it in 70. I was in college, so 78 or so.
Okay, so it was a full movie on the concert, live recording.
Yeah, essentially they'd done a charity concert for Bangladesh.
Okay.
That whole concert was filmed as a movie.
Yeah. Then comes this in Red Viola, 1973.
Is this concert available in audio format? Is this released?
Yeah, it was released in 3 LP set. I have that from somewhere. And could be on YouTube also.
I'm sorry I got lost, got disconnected, just came back. Whenever you want me to, I can talk about Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, you can now.
So, what a wonderful production it is. Jonathan Miller, television director, 66.
Yeah.
It stars Peter Sellers, John Gielgud, Michael Redgrave, Peter Cook, Alan Bennett, John Bird. It's a huge cast. Shot in pinpoint, ghostly black and white with a dreamlike editing schematic. I'm reading from the BBC review. Actors dressed not in costumes, but in period period covering, not made with clothes. And a jarring, seductive, beautiful score by Ravi Shankar. This Alice in Wonderland is like no other version you'll see of the Lewis Carroll classic. Home Vision apparently released this in 2003. That disc's director's commentary and Cecil Hepworth 1903 silent version of Alice are ported over for the edition. So that's a DVD to acquire. While some additional vintage BBC bonuses are bumped in, staying remarkably faithful to events and dialogues. Alice in Wonderland begins with Alice, Anne-Marie Malik, and her stern sister, primped and primed by their nonsensically muttering nurse, Frida Dow, for a typically Victorian excursion out into nature. They are heavily costumed in the fashion of the day. Their hair is carefully coiffed, and they are in possession of a book so they may quietly sit and read. The pictures of gentle Victorian childhood innocence and propriety. Sitting in the hot sun, perspiring Alice removes her hat and lays down in the grass and begins to dream. And this is how that goes. And then the usual story. when this guy, he says, the critic says, I had no idea what to expect from this production before I got it. I had heard about the film and its reputation as a strange, unorthodox, yet curiouser and curiouser still. Adaptation preceded it. Watching the movie, I was immediately taken by the fact that director Jonathan Miller's dreamlike vision here is unlike any other sunny, happy, or delightfully mad version I've ever seen. Whereas the Disney version is about as far as one can go in the direction of taking the work and turning into a colorful, childish, childlike fantasy. Miller makes a point on the commentary track of the DVD, saying he particularly hated the Disney version. Miller's Alice in Wonderland is a dark, nightmarish excursion into pointless, almost listless madness, which makes it even more off-putting and uncomfortable in its rigid diffidence. Shot by cinematographer Dick Bush in a strange combination of a stiff, formal aesthetic, filtered through silent film framing, and a 60s gothic horror film type of stuff. So that's what it is.
Okay.
I got an interesting ad here. Hello.
Yes, sir.
एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग ऐड है जो मैं पढ़ रहा था, जो इस लिस्ट में नहीं है. It is a documentary on Tata Steel. And the documentary was named The Story of Steel, which was sponsored by Tata Steel, India's largest private sector corporation. Listen, it was scripted by Satyajit Ray, shot by Renault, and edited by Hrishikesh Mukherjee with music by Ravi Shankar.
Shot
by Renault, that famous
John Renault of Line to Ramasim.
Yeah. It became a model for the type of Nehruite nation-building socialist realism later associated with film division.
This is incredible.
This is The Story of Steel, and it was sponsored by Tata Steel. I'll share the script of this, and also this is not related to Ravi Shankar, but there's another attached thing, just a couple of lines I'll just add to it. A Perfect Day is a featurette promoting cigarettes sponsored by National Tobacco Company, and it is again scripted by Ray.
भैया पैसे चाहिए ना, कुछ मतलब जिंदगी जीनी हो.
हेलो, रे तो खुद सिगरेट बहुत पीते भी थे.
ये बहुत एक इंटरेस्टिंग वो था, और ये मैं भेजता हूँ आपको, इसमें जोड़ सकते हैं इसको, स्टील, स्टोरी ऑफ स्टील को.
Acha, for those who are interested, the Alice in Wonderland you're talking about here is available in parts on Dailymotion.
Very nice.
Great.
Very.
Thank you.
So Guri bhai, ये Viola क्या है 1973 की? As you go down the list, there is in red Viola film by R. Davis. Any idea? The British art film is somewhere here.
Viola.
Soundtrack album Transmigration Macbeth.
Yeah. Transmigration Macabre is another television thing. And the album is available. The CD is available.
Okay.
Also,
then comes the very famous 1979 Mira
is also not
to Gandhi. Much about it. Pardon me?
Kalpana is not listed here. I believe Kalpana also had
I can't hear properly.
by Ravi Shankar.
नहीं, वो ममता का ट्रूप और आनंद नहीं बनाया.
अच्छा, रविशंकर का क्रेडिट है कहीं, मेरे को ध्यान है सर, मैं देख के कंफर्म करूंगा।
हाँ कंफर्म करें, मुझे तो ये ध्यान है कि इनका ट्रूप था और आनंद शंकर अपना ही म्यूजिक अब खुद ही बनाता था।
आनंद शंकर का तो नहीं होगा जी। आनंद शंकर would have been very young when Uday Shankar made the film.
Sorry, Uday Shankar ठीक है। अच्छा, by the way, there were 7 brothers. I mean 7 births, 5 brothers living.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of whom was Lakshmi Shankar's husband.
Yes.
अच्छा.
So 1986 Genesis and 2003 there is something called Concert for George. That is what David Lean.
Concert for George is after George Harrison died.
Okay.
Memorial.
There was a concert.
Memorial.
But much before that, there is concert for Bangladesh. And
yeah, that we talked about 1972.
अच्छा, तब मैं गया हुआ।
वुडस्टॉक भी लिस्टेड नहीं है शायद, वुडस्टॉक की फिल्म बनी है।
हाँ फिल्म है, और मॉन्ट्रे पॉप फेस्टिवल उससे पहले।
है मॉन्ट्रे पॉप है 1960, डॉक्यूमेंट्री बाय पेन बेकर। So anyway, Wikipedia at the beginning and we can.
सुरेश जी,
Pardon me?
आप पारस पत्थर के लिए पूछ रहे थे ना?
क्या पूछ रहा था?
पारस पत्थर के लिए।
हाँ बोलिए।
So there's a interesting anecdote.
हाँ.
This was Ray's first comedy.
Oh,
as a low budget quickie because of the delay of his more ambitious जलसागर। तो जलसागर जब उनका डिले हुआ तो उन्होंने एक क्विकी, जैसे बिमल दा ने बंदिनी से पहले परख और वो बनाई थी, उसी तरह से इन्होंने एक पारस पत्थर एक फर्स्ट कॉमेडी थी उनकी। Just एक छोटा सा anecdote था।
Interesting that if Jalsaghar and Paras Patthar are contemporary films, interesting that he used Ravi Shankar for one and Vilayat Khan for the other.
Yeah. No, he was just trying them out. He wasn't happy with Ravi Shankar or Vilayat Khan or Ali Akbar. That's why he picked up the music.
I agree. I'm just saying that to use 2 rivals for 2 contemporary films.
हाँ, मतलब ये बोला ना कि एक को ट्राई किया, उससे मजा नहीं आया, दूसरे को देखते हैं।
लेकिन निखिल बैनर्जी को himself, right? Did he try with Nikhil Banerjee anywhere?
I don't think so. No.
अच्छा, there's another film of 1962 Bengali film where Ravi Shankar gave the music. It is called Dheror Pare Dhev, which is not listed, and it was Satyajit Ray's some I think photographer Sanyal made this. BK Sanyal made this film. So I'll share this details with you so that you can add these films to the list.
Yeah, I think, I mean, IMDb is giving a lot more names than I.
Yeah, sure.
IMDb, this is Ashish Rajadyaksh.
No, even IMDb has this. I mean, what you mentioned,
okay,
Meg is there.
I'm actually referring Ashish Rajadyaksh.
Yeah, I'm referring to IMDb. Even that has it. Yeah. There is Meg also. There are so many others.
Because this, there's a, so actually this gives a bit about film also. So that is why I always refer this. First reference. IMDb is anyway there, yeah.
So you see, among so many sitar players, Ravi Shankar again stands alone to score music for all kind of print and celluloid, film and celluloid media. So
he had it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Matlab, even when he was traveling with Uday Shankar's troupe,
yes,
when he was promoted to be a solo dancer, he choreographed his first short piece, Chitrasena.
Yeah.
So, shuru se hi matlab, taking the lead.
Yeah, and Uday Shankar was his mentor from the childhood. So, he himself was talented and dabbled in many different fields, dance, drama, music, film.
Until Baba said this. Yes. Until Baba told him, go and buy some bangles to wear on your wrist. You're like a weak little girl.
Yes.
One small thing I wanted to ask you earlier also, but this Sureshji's talk reminded me. Beyond that live broadcast of that RMIM thing at Chennai, did we get some more recording of the session? Did anyone some recordings like Janardhan Mitta's session or some other session.
I'm not sure, Pawan. I think आपने जो किया था वही था. I don't think anyone else was recording it as far as I know.
Well, you also didn't ask or invited anyone to record?
No, I had when I'd asked if anyone could record, you had volunteered and you had got your camera, your phone set up there.
Okay.
Usse alawa, I'm not sure anything else is there.
I was forgetting, so I thought I should ask.
No, I'm sorry, I don't think there's anything else. Thanks.
So, folks, is it time to wind up now?
Sure.
Yeah. So, if yes, then I will play a very heart-touching video for 5 minutes and then we'll stop. Is it okay?
Yeah. Before guys play, I just want to mention one thing. This is Abhay Jain. In 71, when I was in graduate school at Oklahoma State University, I do not exactly recall why Ravi Shankar came there, but either his acquaintance, he came to somebody's house, and then about 10 of Indians, met him in halls of a dormitory. And somebody asked him to play. He says, "Bhai, agar शौकीन लोग हो, समझते हो, तो मैं जरूर बजाऊंगा, लेकिन आप हाथ ऊंचा करिए कि कितने लोग राग वगैरह सब जानते हैं." Of course, we didn't know much, so that was the end of it. But we just sat next to him. He was a very humble guy, and at least at that time, I don't know how he was.
No, he always remained that. He always remained that. There was unnecessary notoriety built by rivals, but he was always a very, very gentle, very soft-spoken.
Even he was a legend, but he was so soft-spoken and so gentle with all of us at that time. It's amazing to see him.
Or Pradeep also mentioned something about his meeting. My favorite early memories are from modern school in Delhi, where in the lawns, there used to be an overnight concert every year from the Mahir band. And we would, this was 73, 74. And I had a little Televista tape recorder, जो smuggle करके हम लेके जाते थे और record करते थे सारी रात, एक के बाद एक टेप, मतलब वो जो लाउड स्पीकर्स होते हैं ना, PA सिस्टम वाले, उसके पास बैठ गए. उसके पास बैठ गए. और and I remember one particular rag that they played for the first time at that time was Rag Alam Malaya, and he said it's the combination of the names of my father and mother, and also that these are what are they called, palindromes, matlab Alam Malaya. So aisi wali baat. And of course the Sindh Bhairavi that he played in 73 overnight concert. उसके बाद मैं और मेरा दोस्त बाहर निकले और 6 बजे थे सुबह के. बसें तो चल रही थी, लेकिन हम लोगों ने बसों के पीछे जाने का कोई भी शौक नहीं था. हम लोग पैदल गए मॉडर्न स्कूल से करोल बाग. It was about 10 kilometers. And we were listening to that pirated tape that we had just recorded. Those are good memories. We sat on sidewalks and listened.
Wow. So, anybody has anything to say? More? So, I will again.
Maybe we have 5 minutes left. Maybe someone can talk about Meera. I guess that was quite a bit of challenge not working with Lata, etc.
I am told that because Lataji was not available that time.
Originally Gulzar went to Lakshmikant Pyarelal. First he went to Pancham, then Lakshmikant Pyarelal, and finally he settled with Ravi Shankar ji. There's a very interesting story Gulzar has written about how he got this entire thing done. He went to New York for a couple of music sittings, and how Panditji approved. So there's a long story. I can share that in text on the group. I have already transcribed it. A few.
मैंने पढ़ी है तुम्हारी बात.
विचार से पर्दे तक का सफर जो है, सो हाउ मीरा स्टार्टेड एंड हाउ, मतलब कैसे बंद हुई, फिर वापस चालू हुई, फिर कैसे बंद हुई, कैसे लता जी ने मना किया, मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें हैं उसमें। वाणी
I think Lata wanted Hridaynath Mangeshkar to do it, right?
No. Lata told कि अभी हृदयनाथ के साथ मैंने वो शायद चाला भाई देश उस टाइम किया था।
नहीं पहले, हाँ, चाला भाई देश आ रही थी,
उसने कहा था कि मैं ऑलरेडी क्योंकि वहां पे कर चुकी हूँ, तब उसके वो कहीं कंपैरिजंस होंगे, कहीं होंगे, इसलिए मैं नहीं करूंगी, ब्रदर के साथ कर चुकी। She had already done that is why she.
हाँ, गुलजार साहब तो ऐसी बात नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन ये भी लिखा हुआ मैंने देखा है कि जब ये सब बात जब ये गए न्यूयॉर्क, बात हो रही थी, तो सिंगर्स की बात पूछी रविशंकर ने, तो उन्होंने बताया ये सब ड्रामा, तो उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आप किसी को भी ले आओ।
देखो,
और पूरी की पूरी, और उसके बाद एक बाय द वे डीडी की डॉक्यूमेंट्री है ना अबाउट द मेकिंग ऑफ द म्यूजिक। It's a 10-minute thing where Ravi Shankar is teaching.
Yes. Yeah.
है ना?
Yeah.
He's teaching Vani Jairam.
Yeah.
And the best moment I remember from that one is when he's teaching her one of the pieces that.
राणा जी, मैं तो गोविंद के गुण गासूं।
हाँ, तो गोविंद के गुण. And then he said,
so on the gasu,
right.
that exact harakat that he wants, he's teaching her. I remember that.
Right.
Acha, I can read a very small piece on that, relevant piece.
बोलिए।
लक्ष्मीकांत प्यारेलाल ने पहले फिल्म छोड़ी, फिर पंचम ने फिल्म छोड़ी, और लता की आवाज के सहारे बगैर कोई एक भी कदम नहीं चल सकता। बहरहाल ये मसला म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर का था। कुछ हफ्ते तो ऐसी परेशानी में गुजरे कि लगता है ये फिल्म ही रुक जाएगी, ठप हो जाएगी। तभी फिल्म के आर्ट डायरेक्टर देश मुखर्जी ने एक नया नाम सुझाया, और वो नाम फौरन दिल दिमाग में जड़ पकड़ गया, पंडित रविशंकर। देश मुखर्जी सजेस्टेड द नेम। पंडित जी उन दिनों अमेरिका में रहते थे, हिंदुस्तानी फिल्मों में म्यूजिक देना तो वो कब का छोड़ चुके थे। पता ठिकाना मालूम करना तो दूर की बात लगी, अगर वो मान भी जाएं तो इतने माने कब और कैसे, इतने गाने कब और कैसे रिकॉर्ड होंगे ये भी नहीं पता था। हर गाने के रिकॉर्डिंग के लिए तो उन्हें अमेरिका से नहीं बुलवाया जा सकता था। फिर भी एक चिराग तो जला, चाहे बहुत दूर ही सही। 5-7 दिन की कोशिशों के बाद हम दोनों के दोस्त हितेन चौधरी ने पंडित जी का फोन नंबर लाकर दिया और बताया फला तारीख को वो 3 दिन के लिए इस नंबर पर लंदन में आके ठहरेंगे, चाहे तो हम उनसे बात कर लें। चौधरी साहब से हमने अनुरोध किया कि आप परिचय करवा दीजिए, बात हम कर लेंगे। पंडित जी लंदन में थे, मैंने बात की। आवाज अगर शख्सियत के ढके पर्दों को खोलकर कोई भेद बता सकती है तो मैं कह सकता हूं कि बातचीत के इस पहले मौके पर ही मुझे उम्मीद हो गई थी कि पंडित जी मान जाएंगे। इतनी बड़ी हस्ती होते हुए भी उनकी आवाज में बला की नम्रता थी। उनकी शर्त बहुत सादा और साफ थी, मुझे फिल्म की स्क्रिप्ट सुना दीजिए, अच्छी लगी तो जरूर संगीत दूंगा। अगले दिन पंडित जी न्यूयॉर्क जा रहे थे। प्रेम जी ने फौरन फैसला किया, प्रेम जी मतलब प्रोड्यूसर, आप न्यूयॉर्क जाइए और हितेंदा को साथ ले जाइए, आप जो मुनासिब समझे वो कर आइए। हितेंदा पुराने दोस्त हैं, मान गए। 31 जुलाई 1976 को मैं न्यूयॉर्क में था, लेकिन पंडित जी न्यूयॉर्क में नहीं थे। 3 अगस्त को पंडित जी न्यूयॉर्क लौट आए। उसी शाम उनसे मुलाकात हुई। मुलाकात के आधे घंटे बाद ही मैंने स्क्रिप्ट सुनानी शुरू कर दी। पूरे 2 घंटे 40 मिनट लगे मुझे स्क्रिप्ट सुनाने में। उसके 3 मिनट बाद ही मीरा को म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर मिल गया। बाकी सारी बातें हितेंदा ने तय कर दी। अच्छा, लता जी से जो बात हुई थी मैंने पंडित जी को बतला दी। उन्हें भी अफसोस जरूर हुआ कि लता जी गाती तो अच्छा होता, और लता जी उन दिनों वाशिंगटन में ही थी। 2 दिन बाद मेरा वाशिंगटन जाना हुआ तो मैंने लता जी से बात की और ये भी बता दिया कि पंडित जी मीरा के लिए संगीत दे रहे हैं। वहीं वाटरगेट होटल में मुकेश जी से जिंदगी की आखिरी मुलाकात हुई। शायद नसीब में ऐसा होना लिखा था। रविशंकर जी के चुनाव पर उन्होंने मुझे मुबारकबाद भी दी थी। वहीं उसी दौरे में मुकेश जी का देहांत हो गया। ये मतलब कई सारी चीजें एक के बाद एक कनेक्टेड हैं। तो ये और इसके बाद एक बार नवंबर के शुरू में पंडित रविशंकर हिंदुस्तान पहुंचे। 22 नवंबर 1976 से गानों की रिहर्सल शुरू हुई। और 30 नवंबर से महबूब स्टूडियो में वसंत मुदलियार की देखरेख में मीरा के गानों की रिकॉर्डिंग शुरू हुई और 15 दिसंबर 1976 तक मीरा का पूरा म्यूजिक रिकॉर्ड हो चुका था। और एक व्यक्ति जिसने अनथक मेहनत की और इस काम करने में को पूरा करने में, वो थे श्री विजय राघवराव, जो पंडित जी का दाहिना हाथ ही नहीं थे, दोनों हाथ थे। और मीरा का संगीत पूरा हुआ, शूटिंग की तैयारी शुरू हुई और अमिताभ बच्चन ने पिक्चर छोड़ दी। मतलब जब पंडित जी ने रिकॉर्ड किया तब तक अमिताभ बच्चन हीरो थे उस फिल्म के।
अच्छा।
अमिताभ was going to do विनोद खन्ना's role?
Yes, yes, yes. तो
okay.
वो बोले कि पंडित जी ने म्यूजिक बना दिया, उसके बाद भी फिल्म रुक गई। पहले तो इसलिए रुक गई थी कि कोई म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर नहीं मिल रहा था।
डेस्टिनी कहते हैं ना इसको।
अच्छा, उसमें भी क्या हुआ, उसमें भी विनोद खन्ना के साथ भी क्या था कि विनोद खन्ना तब तक वो ओशो के लिए हो गए थे, लेकिन फिर भी वो तैयार हो गए, तो उसने कहा मैं 15 दिन में जितना चाहिए मेरे को ले लो काम। तो उसने फिर 15 दिन में पूरी अपनी शूटिंग की और निकल गए। मतलब
देखो कैसे बनती है ये पिक्चर।
Unfortunately, the music did not get that much traction.
हाँ, now it's actually
काफी पॉपुलर हुआ म्यूजिक।
हाँ, नहीं मैंने ये एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि शुरू में वो
अच्छा, एक और चीज है इसमें, एक और छोटा सा चीज है, एक छोटी सी बात और है
जी,
कि मुझे ये बताने की मोहलत नहीं मिली, मतलब कि 1976 में जब फिल्म का संगीत रिकॉर्ड किया गया था तो हमने सितंबर 1977 की तारीखें फिल्म के बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक के लिए तय कर ली थी कि तब तक फिल्म बन जाएगी। लेकिन क्योंकि अमिताभ ने छोड़ दी थी और विनोद ने बाद में ज्वाइन किया, तो और इधर पंडित जी की डेट्स आ गई थी, तो अब सन 78 शुरू आ चुका था और पंडित जी पूछ रहे थे कि फिल्म का बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक रिकॉर्ड होना कब शुरू होगा, क्योंकि इस साल सितंबर में अगर रिकॉर्ड नहीं हो पाया तो पंडित जी 1979 तक हिंदुस्तान नहीं आ पाएंगे, मतलब अगले साल तक। तो इतने चैलेंज थे, लेकिन उन्होंने जब विनोद खन्ना ने उस दौर में वो शूटिंग पूरी की तो उसी के अगले 5 दिन में उन्होंने बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक भी पंडित जी के साथ रिकॉर्ड कर लिया। और फिल्म का पूरा होना अभी दूर था, तब तक पूरी नहीं हुई थी लेकिन पूरी फिल्म के हर सीन की अंदाजन लंबाई निकालकर बगैर फिल्म देखे सिर्फ स्क्रिप्ट के भरोसे हमने मीरा का बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक पूरा किया। ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। अब बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक पहले बना और सीन बाद में। और एक और चीज
इसमें डायरेक्टर को भी मुबारकबाद है ना।
अच्छा, इसमें गुलजार साहब ने मेरे को एक बहुत एक बात बताई थी। अंगूर के हम बात कर रहे थे, मैंने कहा सिर्फ बहुत ऐसा लगता है कि ऑन सेट इम्प्रोवाइजेशन हुआ है। बोले मेरी आज तक एक भी फिल्म ऐसी नहीं हुई जिसकी की स्क्रिप्ट से हम लोग जरा सा भी इधर या उधर हुए। कि कभी भी हम इम्प्रोवाइज नहीं करते थे।
वेरी वेरी वेल प्लान्ड स्पॉन्टेनिटी।
सो अब यहाँ पे मीरा से वो वैलिडेट भी हो रहा है कि उन्होंने उस स्क्रिप्ट से बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक किया और सीन्स उसके बाद शूट किए। और एक और इसके साथ मजे की बात है कि फिल्म जब खत्म होने वाली थी बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक के बाद, तो बंबई में उसी टाइम पीलिया की बीमारी फैली और हेमा मालिनी उस पीलिया की लपेट में आ गई। जैसे अभी कोरोना चल रहा है इसलिए रेलेवेंट है, तो इंडस्ट्री के बहुत से कलाकार उसकी लपेट में आ गए। तो जिस तारीख को ये गुलजार साहब ने ये पूरा लिखा है वाकया, ये 15 दिसंबर 1978 को है और वो लिखते हैं कि ये दिसंबर चल रहा है। आज की ताजा खबर के अनुसार 30 दिसंबर को फिल्म शायद खत्म हो जाएगी। अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं ना टचवुड, तो मतलब तब तक खत्म नहीं हुई थी जब ये लिखा था पूरा। तो ऐसे मतलब इस फिल्म को बनने में इतना चैलेंजेस आए, लेकिन पंडित जी ने लिटरली बहुत सपोर्ट किया और गुलजार साहब उस बात को बहुत मानते हैं।
एक प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में मेंशन शायद आपने किया हो या नहीं, गांधी
है ना यहाँ पे,
गांधी है ऊपर है।
हाँ, मतलब उसका म्यूजिक जो है इट हार्क्स बैक टू पाथेर पांचाली। ही डज दैट ना। चार्ली में भी यही किया कि एक मोटिव लेते हैं और उसको तरह तरह से बाद में बीच में लाके कुछ पीसेस और होते हैं और उनको इंटरस्पर्स करते हैं।
वो मेन पीस होता है।
हाँ, पाथेर पांचाली का भी एक मेन है, नो और इसका भी है, उसका भी है, सबका। इसमें जो मीरा थी उसमें जो बहुत ज्यादा इनका अपना मनपसंद था वो था बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक जब गांधी जी रेल यात्रा कर रहे हैं।
हाँ, ऐसी।
हाँ जी 10 बज गए, मतलब यहाँ के
चलो
10 आपके 8:30।
अभी लास्ट पे आते हैं, बट इट वाज सो टचिंग and memorable experience for all of us.
Yeah.
Remembering.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got this, and probably everybody knows there was a conference in London in 2011 when suddenly he stopped and started singing a Tagore song. So that we'll listen to and end the show today. Thank you so much, all the folks, and let's meet again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Suresh.
अच्छा, इसके आगे कंटिन्यू करना है
साइकिल थिंग टुमारो?
इसके बाद कंटिन्यू करना है क्या आज?
नहीं, I have something else planned in my channel.
Okay.
We can do your cycle thing tomorrow, Pawan.
Yeah. Of course.
Are we meeting tomorrow also?
Yeah, 8 to 9:30 tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
9:30 IST?
Yeah, IST.
Okay.
बजाओ
जी।
Yeah, please sir.
अपना माइक्रोफोन म्यूट कर लीजिए सब लोग।
What was this, Sureshji? What was that?
रविंद्र संगीत शदीन दुजो ने।
उसका मतलब कोई बता सकता है ये बंगाली?
Because the same tune has been taken by S.D. Burman.
Yeah. दीवाने.
Of course. दीवाने.
आपने पवन को सुना नहीं, उसने बोल दिया था शुरू में।
हाँ. Yes, Shejin Sudone, I forgot it by meaning, but we can find a beautiful song. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you, sir.
You.
It was wonderful.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you, everyone. Catch up later.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tomorrow then. Tomorrow, na?
Sure.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Yeah.